we have the situation as such. The name of the chapter is Principal Stress and Strains. We have a cross section here having unit thickness. The cross section is ABCD, and this cross section carrying two different type of normal stresses. One is sigma 1 tensile type, and sigma 2, this is also tensile type, and still there are another shear force working on BC and AD faces, which are trying to rotate the body along clockwise. This is the scenario. Now we will find out the stress on an oblique plane which is at an angle theta with this vertical plane. Okay, so our plane is CF, and where we have to find out the stresses. Now, before we proceed, we must know two different things. Number one, it is called principle of complementary shear stresses. Principle of complementary shear stresses. This is very simple one. Because of the equilibrium, we can say that when there is a clockwise moment caused by these shear stresses on AD and BC, so as because the object is in equilibrium, there should be another stress which is same and equal value but on opposite direction, so that the object or the section becomes in equilibrium. Okay, so what I am trying to say, there is shear stress present in the both sides which will be having some value trying to rotate this total cross section clockwise. In such case, there will be another shear stress present to negate the effect of the shear stresses. So whenever there is a shear stress working on an object in equilibrium, there is another complementary shear stress of equal value and opposite in direction is present to keep the object in equilibrium. So if the shear stress is tau in AD and BC, there will be another shear stress that will be present in AB and CD in opposite direction of value tau. This is called the principle of complementary shear stress. Whenever there is a shear stress, to keep the object in equilibrium, there will be always another shear stress which will be value of same applied shear stress, but this complementary shear stress should be in opposite direction so that the object becomes in equilibrium. Okay, now, so from this image we can understand in AB phase and CD phase there is another shear stress is present which is having equal value tau but in counterclockwise direction, as the applied shear stress was in clockwise direction. Okay, this is called the principle of complementary shear stress. And the second thing, the principal stresses. Now there, if you look at this cross section, there will be any value of theta, and for that any value of theta there will be several number of planes, because the theta value can be from 0 to 360. So now as for different theta there will be different planes. Now at a certain plane we will find that there is no shear stresses. Okay, at some value of theta on that particular plane, there will be no shear stresses. So in such case, when there is no shear stresses, in such case that plane will be called principal plane and the corresponding normal stress is called principal stress. I will repeat this sentence again. This is a plane. This is a cross section ABCD. This cross section having unit thickness, facing tensile stresses in two directions along sigma 1 and along sigma 2, both are tensile type, and as well as at the face BC and AD there is a shear stress of value tau. Now, for this principle of complementary shear stress, we can understand that in the other sides, in the other faces, there are shear stresses present of equal value but in opposite direction. That's why we can draw another shear stresses tau in AB face and also in CD face, but this direction should be opposite of the applied stress. So applied stress was in clockwise direction, and this newly drawn shear stress should be on opposite direction, counterclockwise direction. Now, in any value of theta, any particular value of theta, we will find on that plane there will be no shear stresses. Generally, the plane will be having stresses along the plane and perpendicular to the plane. Okay, this is along normal direction, we can call it by sigma n. This is along the plane, which will be called sigma t or sigma tangential along the plane. Okay, now at certain value of theta we will find that there will be no sigma t, there will be no shear stresses on that particular plane. That plane will be called principal plane, and that corresponding normal stress on that plane, the normal stress will be called principal stress. Now our job is to find out the principal plane and relative principal stresses. And how can we find it out? By putting the sigma t equal to 0. So now our job is to find out, is to analyze and find out the value of sigma t. Now there are two ways to find out these stresses: principal stress, tangential stress, resultant stress. All can be found out in two ways. First is analytical method, second is graphical method. Graphical method is very easy, but it requires accuracy. An analytical method is just you have to calculate. Now first we will go for analytical method, then secondly we will go for graphical method. Both are in your syllabus and both are very, very important. The graphical method is very quick. However, we will continue on working on that. So now from this image we will draw free body diagrams. We will draw only free body diagram, and only this wedge CFB will be enough. So let me accommodate these things. So this will draw the wedge, this C, this is F, this is B. This portion having a tensile load, this portion having a tensile load. Okay, the stresses is here sigma 1, and the area in this cross section is this side BC into thickness was 1. So if this was look just like it, this thickness was unit that was discussed in previous class. So we are taking this cross section of unit thickness. So in such case, the area is BC into 1 and the load will be sigma 1 into BC into 1 stress into cross section area. Now this will be the force working along the horizontal direction or in the direction of sigma 1. Similarly, we can write the force working here is P2, and P2 is equal to sigma 2 into FB into thickness 1. So this is the force working on this section FB. Now there is another shear stress. So this shear stress is working along this direction, and the shear stress is say producing force say Q1. Q1 will produce tau into the surface BC into 1. 1 is the thickness, BC is the length of this side. Similarly, here in this direction, because of this face AB, there is shear stress producing the load say Q2, then Q2 will be equal to tau into FB into 1. This angle is theta. Now at this plane there is a stress which is normal at the plane, which will be sigma n, and along this plane which will be sigma t, which will be sigma tangential. Now so is this scenario clear what we have drawn, the free body diagram of this wedge? Give me a reply, because otherwise if we go forward it won't be able to understand. The part of Q is the force produced by the shear stresses. Now in this wedge in the plane BC there was applied shear stress tau. So the force will be equal to shear stress into area. So the shear force produced on the face BC because of this tau stress is equal to stress into area, that is Q1, that is produced on BC face. Now in FB there was the complementary shear stress along this AB. So this stress having some portion working on FB, so in this FB portion this force produced by the shear stress is Q2, and that Q2 will be equal to stress into area, so tau into FB into 1, that is the area. FB is the length, thickness is 1, as because we have told the cross section is of unit thickness. So that's why while we are working on this area we are multiplying with 1 so that we get the area for the easiness. Is it clear now? P forces are for tensile forces, are for tensile stresses, and Q forces are for shear stresses. Is it clear? Give me a reply so that we can go ahead. Okay, so now we go for the analytical part. Very easy. So the forces we have found out, P1, P2, Q1, Q2, that is known. Now then the total normal forces along this normal direction of CF, we have to find sigma n and sigma t. So we will have to find out the forces along sigma n and along sigma t. So now our job is to find out the Pn, which is normal force along the direction of normal to CF, okay, along the direction of sigma n. You have to understand and remember, Pn is equal to force along the normal direction of CF. So Pn then will be having the component of P1. So if we join these two lines, then we have to understand the thetas. So if this angle is theta, this angle becomes theta and this angle becomes theta. Look at the geometry. If this angle is theta, this plus this becomes 90. So this becomes theta minus 90. Now again this is 90. If this is, sorry, this is 90 minus theta. So this is 90. This is 90 minus theta. This will become theta. And again this plus this 90 and this plus this 90. So if this is theta, this is also becomes theta. So is the geometry clear to you? Why, how this angle become theta? Okay, fine. So now, so Pn along the direction Pn, the component of P1 will be P1 cos theta. So P1 cos theta, we just write that way and later we will solve them. We do not need to do step jump, otherwise we will do not understand later. And the component of P2 is, this is theta. So along this direction is 90 minus theta. So that will be P2 sin theta. Now the component of Q1 is Q1 sin theta and component of Q2 is Q2 cos theta. Okay, that will be the forces or component of the forces along Pn. Now substituting the values of this P1, we can get sigma 1 BC cos theta plus sigma 2 FB, sorry, sigma 2 FB, this is sin theta, this is sin theta, plus Q1 is tau into BC sin theta plus Q2 is tau into FB cos theta. We are putting out the values of P1, P2, Q1, Q2. Now similarly, the total tangential force along the CF can be written as PT. Now then PT will be equal to, we must write the component of P1 is P1 sin theta minus P2 cos theta minus Q1 cos theta plus Q2 sine theta. That will be the component of the forces along tangential direction of CF. Now again we will put the values of P1, P2, Q1, Q2, sigma 1 into BC sine theta minus sigma 2 into FB cos theta minus tau into BC cos theta plus tau into FB sine theta. Okay, so we have put the values. Now this, if you look for this Pn, we have Pn. Now if we want to find the stress along the direction of, along the normal direction or along the direction of Pn, then we will divide that force by the area of this CF. So we can write the stresses along sigma n, or in normal direction we can write that will be Pn by area of CF. So we can write this whole line sigma 1 into BC into cos theta plus sigma 2 into FB sin theta plus tau into BC sin theta plus tau into FB cos theta, that is the force, by this area of CF is, length is CF and thickness is 1, so we can write CF into 1. So here, as we can see, we can rewrite the equation as sigma 1 into BC by CF into cos theta plus sigma 2 into FB by CF sin theta plus tau into BC by CF sin theta plus tau into FB by CF cos theta. Okay, now if we look at the image and find out BC by CF, BC by CF means base by hypotenuse, so it will becomes, BC by CF becomes cos theta. So we can write sigma 1 BC by CF equal to cos theta into cos theta plus sigma 2 into FB by CF is sin theta into sin theta plus tau into, again BC by CF becomes cos theta into sin theta plus tau into FB by CF is again sin theta into cos theta. This is from the geometry of a triangle. So we can write this as sigma 1 cos square theta plus sigma 2 sin square theta plus 2 into tau cos theta sin theta. Now by from cos square theta, we can write the formula 2 cos square theta equal to 1 plus cos 2 theta, 1 plus cos 2 theta. If you can remember, 2 cos square theta is equal to 1 plus cos 2 theta. So from there we can write cos square theta is equal to 1 plus cos 2 theta by 2. So we will replace this cos square theta and sin square theta using the formula we have learned in class 11. So cos squared theta can be rewritten as 1 plus cos 2 theta by 2 plus sin square theta can be written as 1 minus cos 2 theta by 2 plus tau into sin 2 theta, 2 sin theta cos theta formula, tau sin 2 theta. Okay. Now, by rewriting this, breaking this up, we can write this sigma 1 plus sigma 2 by 2 plus sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 cos 2 theta plus tau sin 2 theta. So this is the value of stress which is normal to the CF. Okay, so this is the normal stress acting on the oblique plane we have taken. When the plane is at an angle theta, then the normal stress is this. And similarly, we can calculate the tensile stress also. Tensile stress will be not tensile, tangential stress. I am sorry. Tangential stress we can find out by similarly using this equation Pt. If the force is known, then along this tangential direction, you just divide this value of Pt by the area of Cf. So we will divide this force by area, will give us the tangential stress. So we will write that tangential stress sigma t along the plane CF is equal to Pt by area of CF. So the value of Pt we will write value of Pt is sigma 1 into Bc into sin theta minus sigma 2 into Fb cos theta minus tau into Bc into cos theta plus tau into Fb into sin theta. We are just putting up the values we have found out earlier. Now, by the area of CF is basically CF into 1 as it is of unit thickness. Okay, let us keep this image, it will be little helpful. So similarly, we will put this CF under BC just like previous case, sin theta minus sigma 2 into FB by CF cos theta minus tau into BC by CF cos theta plus tau into FB by CF sin theta. Okay. Now we have to find out this BC by CF. We have written earlier BC by CF is cos theta from the geometry. Just look at here, BC by CF is cos theta. So just like previous, we will rewrite the equation. So it will become sigma 1 into cos theta into sin theta minus sigma 2 into sin theta into cos theta minus tau into cos theta into cos theta plus tau into sin theta into sin theta. Sorry, my connection broke up. Okay. So now we'll just rewrite just like the previous case. So upon rewriting, we can write this sigma 1 minus sigma 2 cos theta sin theta, just look at it, minus tau cos square theta plus tau sin square theta. So from here we can rewrite the equation as sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 into 2 cos theta sin theta minus tau taking common cos square theta minus sin square theta. So from here we can write that sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 into sin 2 theta minus tau cos 2 theta. So this is what, again the video is paused. So this is the value of tangential stress. Now this when we have started this chapter, we told that the chapter is about principal stresses and principal strains. So in principal stress means we have to find the principal plane and the stress working on that principal plane, the normal stress working on the principal plane will be called principal stress. Now the principal plane, to find out the principal plane, the condition is there will be no shear stress. So if there is no shear stress, let us write, so for the condition to find shear stress, we have to put that shear stress, sorry, to find principal stress, I have written it wrong, principal stress. For the condition to find principal stress, the shear stress should be equal to 0. So the value of shear stress we have found out here is sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 sin 2 theta minus tau cos 2 theta is equal to 0. So from this condition we can write that tan 2 theta is equal to 2 tau by sigma 1 minus sigma 2. Okay. Now today time is already 10:52, as we have